Hey, AJ, don't mind me. I'm just gonna have a little bit of iodine or chloroform or chlorophyll, maybe some coffee.
Yeah, or Resident Evil healing liquid.
Resident Evil
Healing liquid. Did you ever buy that candle? That Resident Evil 7 candle?
Yeah.
Did you ever light it?
No.
Did you ever smell it?
Yes. This was a running thing on the Midnight Gamescast back in the day. Jeremy would take it off of the shelf behind us and threaten to open it, and that's all you had to do was open it, and it was just awful.
It smelled bad, or no? Just him torturing you with that.
No, it smelled terrible. It was like rotting corpses, and absolutely, it was like mold, and it smells absolutely terrible. Meanwhile,
that's amazing.
Yeah, the Skyrim one is like all pine scented and shit. It's like supposed to be like fresh wilderness. No, Resident Evil is about rotting zombie smell.
Smells like Tamriel, dude. That's crazy that they would make a candle. Like, I thought they would at least make it smell good, but the fact I'm actually kind of proud of them for making a candle that smells like rotten corpses. And,
unless that's just what the Louisiana bayou smells like. Maybe I missed the message somewhere along the line. So maybe it's totally fucking accurate. I've never been, so you'll have to let me know in the chat.
You'd have to throw in a little bit of urine and barf.
Wow.
Shots fired. I'm just kidding.
For real, we're never going to be welcome in Louisiana.
They're very welcoming. I was like 10 years old when I visited there, and I accidentally wandered into a strip club.
What? Yeah, accidentally.
I was 10 years old.
Dude, I haven't even heard the rest of the story, and I can already say it's my favorite AJ story I've ever not heard. Amazing.
Oh, I've got some stories for you, buddy.
Oh, well, we'll have to pick this one up a little bit later. Are you ready to get this thing started?
Let's do this, baby.
Let's go. Welcome to the Tonight Show with Brian Paul, going live from Worcester, Massachusetts. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Wise Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live for your viewing pleasure because that's, we like to give you viewing pleasure. But we also like to give you oral pleasure. And to make sure you head on over to podcast services of your choice and listen to this thing in MP3 podcast form. That's right. Thanks to our good friend Rypop. Also, Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry puts timestamps into this thing after the fact. Because he loves us, and we love him, we love each other. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. And this gentleman over here, to my left, your right, it's AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. Virtual strangers in the house tonight. What up, Westmania? All of you beautiful, lovely, very attractive bunch. I know that Mondays usually suck. Yes, it's true. But we are here, Brian, to ensure their Monday sucks. Just a little bit less.
This much. Just this much less. My camera's never going to focus back on me. It's just going to be thumb and finger the rest of the show. Yeah, man. Dude, how was your weekend? I didn't get really a chance to talk to you. I've been kind of crazy busy over here. Although that's not true. We did play a little bit of Ghostbusters because I was doing a review. And you jumped in there for a little bit with me, and not a fan. I take it. The laughing
for as much as I could muster. Yeah, man. I mean, oof. Yeah, it was a great review, by the way. I played games all weekend. In particular, I played Vampire: The Masquerade Justice, which was awesome. I loved your review. I think the score was a little low, but
like this much. This much low?
Like this much? No. It actually was a great weekend because we got some really quality games, and then I played Ghostbusters with you to help you finish your review for it. And yeah, man, I mean, it's so unfortunate. how it's kind of boring and repetitive, and it was kind of promising at first. But yeah, the more time you spend with it, like I really enjoyed my first hour with it. I was like, this is awesome. But then I was prepared, and then and now like I was like forcing myself to play it with you guys, and I was having fun with y'all. Like I'd rather just pay to hang out with y'all next time versus pay for the game. But yeah, it's just disappointing, man, because as a huge Ghostbusters fan, it's like, man, at the end of the day, they had that amazing 2007 2008 game, and it's like, at the end of the day, like I would have loved just like that converted to VR. Like that's the dream. Maybe one day. And it just feels like, while I hope this game does have some success and stuff, at the same time, it's like it just feels like such a wasted opportunity with the IP. Another wasted opportunity with the IP.
Yeah, it's true. It's really got me thinking about where games are headed, and I'm a little bit nervous that this is sort of an indication as to where VR games might be headed, and it's all because I think what people really want, and when I say people, I mean generally the younger audience, they just want a place to go hang out and be silly with each other. While they shoot the shit and hang out and get, and get caught up on their day and and play with their friends. Like I feel like that's where games are heading. 'Cause as you said, it was fun to play with each other, with our group of friends and people that we wanted to hang out with and shoot the shit with. But like, we could have done that anywhere. We could have done that in Walkabout. We could have done that in real life. We could have done that. And
I mean, we could have just hung out in Discord, and I would have been equally satisfied.
and so charging us $35 to $55 for a place to do something that we can do anywhere, I think is pretty unfair. And so I'm a little bit nervous that this is where what developers are thinking people want is like, oh, let's give them some silly things to do while they hang out.
No, this is. I mean, that could be the case in some cases, but no, this is Sony Pictures virtual reality. Most likely, being in control of the idea, pitching the concept with this was all probably likely planned from them to make a family friendly game because they're probably a very family friendly group. And while the heart is in the right place, it's just at the end of the day, it's like. I don't know. Like I said, if kids are enjoying it, then they succeeded for all we know. But for us, that are, I don't know. It definitely was. I was definitely not the target audience for this. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I think we were hoping against hope that we were. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter what it looks like, and because I don't care. Like the aesthetics of this game are really my smallest concern that I have. People were like, oh, I hate the cartoony art style or this or that or whatever. I'm like, you know what? Like if the gameplay is fun, then we're good to go. Little did I know the gameplay wasn't going to be all that much fun.
Yeah, it does some good things, but it because it's clearly End Dreams is very talented, right? Like they're such a talented studio, and it got some things right because they're just so insanely talented. But yeah, if they would have had a little bit more free reign as to what to create and everything. Probably would have turned out a little bit better.
Yeah. Very, very true.
And for the record, I think kids are into more mature stuff anyways. Unless really young kids.
The reason I say it is because every single time anytime over the course of the weekend that I was playing and I opened up the room to public so that anybody could join. Sometimes we had 2 people or 3 people, and then usually we had 4. But I was always curious just to see what the player base was like, and so we would just randomly open up the room to for anybody out there to join. And 10 out of 10 times, it was a squeaker, and it was like, hey guys, this is really fun. I'm so excited to play this. Come on, guys, follow me. And I was like, and I wish that was an exaggeration. I wish I was just making fun of, but no, that's literally how it said. And I was like, that's younger than 12, right? These are kids, and they are loving it. The kids are loving it. And normally, AJ, I'm 100% with you. I actually think it's insulting when we don't like a game and say, well, it's good. It's a good kids game. people said that about Good Dog, Bad Dog. It was a good kids game. I was like, no, just because the game's shit doesn't mean that we can give the shit to the kids. That's not fair. Because kids do, a lot of kids do expect more. You know, I think you and I both have been playing video games our entire life. I remember being 10, 12, 15 years old and being like, oh man, this game's crap. Like
kids are growing up these days with The Last of Us and God of War, and like as family friendly as it gets is like Spider-Man. Like it's just it's different nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a couple of these tips here. We've got, oh man, I hate when things don't scroll. JPEG Q with the $2 tip says, any chance of VR Karts? Everyone take a breath and remember VR Karts from 2016. Any chance VR Karts port to PSVR2 with G29 support? Bro.
I hope not.
Bro, VR Karts was terrible and it never got better. Like, you don't want VR Karts because we have, Galaxy Kart is already so much better. Do I have VR Karts? I do. Look at this. Here it is.
I'm not over the moon about Galaxy Kart, but it is leagues ahead of
right,
or a league ahead of.
Looking at this trailer, like it kind of looks like everything you want from a kart game, kart racer. It's it's got the nice big cartoony art style. It looks kind of Mario Kart-ish. You get the weapons, everything, right? And boy, oh boy, they must have been scared of motion sickness because this was like 10 cc. Like as compared to Mario Kart, like it just, even at the fastest, most difficult races, it just never got fast. And I felt like I was always pushing the cart physically forward in real life. I was like, why am I not going faster? But don't worry, because Galaxy Kart is getting wheel support, and apparently, I think the developer said in our Discord today that that Galaxy Kart is getting wheel support this week, and so. It already has force feedback with G29 Logitech stuff, and then the Thrustmaster. It'll have support for the Thrustmaster wheel, but not for the force feedback. That'll come in a later patch. They're still dealing with like weird legal shit. Dude, so much Galaxy Kart. It's so good. I know you're not as nearly as hyped on Galaxy Kart as I am, AJ, but like I'm so excited to get back in because I have so much fun when I play that game.
Yeah, it's okay. It's got a long way to go for me. Like it's not the one for me yet.
Oh no, dude! If we got Dash World in VR, immediately everybody's focus would go like right over here, like, because Dash is just a better game with better designed courses and just more polished because it's been out for way longer and they've had this time to put it through beta and keep adding to it. But since Galaxy Kart's all we got, and luckily it's pretty fucking fun. So, yeah, really rooting for those guys, which is probably apparent because I talk about them constantly.
Yeah. Any conversation with you is almost guaranteed to bring up Galaxy Kart and bad dreams. I'm expecting that,
Also, iCarly and My Chemical Romance. I'm very predictable. Oh man. Here, we got a couple more tips. Dead Ringer, the Gamecat with a $2 tip says, so glad you guys are on later tonight. Meow. Yeah, I'm glad we're on later tonight too. Like every so often, it just works out better. But today, I apologize for anyone who this really inconvenienced. As you guys know, I'm having a ton of work done in my apartment. And there's just shit everywhere, dude. Like shit everywhere. And the construction guys didn't even leave until after 6 today. So it was really difficult. So my apologies, but hopefully we're going to get back on track in the next couple weeks or so. Fifth with the Australian $5 says, Brian, at the meetup, do you share a room with Miles? Which means I'll be getting my share of puns. Or AJ, so I can have my share of Gojira, Slipknot, and Pantera. Well, Fifth, there's an easy answer to this. I got my own room, so I can listen to MCR. And Josh Ritter and Bob Dylan. That's right.
We'll see about that.
Okay. I may allow AJ to stay with me. Under certain criteria. Super cool video, bro. The $2 tip says nothing, but that doesn't mean we don't love him, and he doesn't love us. Fifth gives us another Australian 5 and says, 2024 Gamecat meetup probably sponsored by Sony, Diet Pepsi, Meta. I think DiGiorno is about the closest we're going to get. Yeah, or Dunkin'
like
Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts is like all over Boston, and like I fucking love Dunkin' Donuts. I'd probably take that sponsorship. If
I know you do.
we almost killed AJ with
dude. The stuff he drinks at Dunkin' Donuts. Good God, you could pour that into one of these Gran Turismo cars, and it would fuel it.
it's like the same as this shit. Coffee concentrate. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Anyway, guys, let's get this show started. Every single Monday, we like to thank a specific group of game cats. Isn't that right, AJ? And we didn't do it last week, so let's fucking get caught up.
That's right, Brian. We would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing your name to something GameCat, something GameCat related, or something GameCat adjacent, as you and something GameCat adjacent like to say. And this week, we have 7 new GameCats to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo.
Oh, shit, I gotta fix that. Oh, no. I keep pushing buttons. I gotta stop pushing buttons. Stop pushing buttons. There we go.
Starting with Markio, the Sleepless Night Underground Game Cat. Bing! So I guess he has revealed his traitor faction. So now we all know that we need to reassemble the Gamecat Dojo and go raid their guild.
Excellent.
I kid. The people that are still playing Zenith are incredibly awesome people, and for them to court Markio, they're probably very freaking cool people. So, just joking.
Also, great fucking name. Sleepless Night. Knight.
We've also got Serial Killer, the Movember Game Cat.
Oh, damn. That reminds me. Hold on. Bing! I also obviously didn't format this prior, so I'm resizing people's names on the fly. That reminds me, Serial Killer is the greatest person on the face of the planet because he like fucking organizes all these like charity events and stuff. And so like we do want to participate in Movember. However, I am super disorganized. I've got a lot of shit going on, and so stay tuned. We certainly want to, and there might be a link already in Discord if you want to support the Movember fund in the name of Game Cats.
We've also got Thundercat, parenthesis, Game Cat.
Sorry. Bing! Oh my god, it's just Thundercat Game Cat. That's amazing.
We've also got Dutch_DJ, the WTF Foglands Game Cat.
That's a pretty good one. Bing!
Must be an old one. Yeah, Foglands.
Yeah, well,
fogged it up.
WTF Foglands. Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. That's a disappointment that I'd rather not talk about anymore.
What the Foglands Game Cat. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's way better. Yeah. We've also got King Rolo, the 1 in 100,000 Game Cat.
Bing. If I could roll my R's, that would be fucking cool, but I can't do it. Now I'm just jealous because that was a great
King
way to
Rolo.
Very nice. 1 in 100K.
We've also got Melkaya, the Soul Haunting Game Cat, formerly known as the Soul Reaving Game Cat. Raziel, where have you gone?
Oh man, I'm running out of space here. How many more do we have? Just one.
We got one more. Okay. One more. Save the best for last. We've got Drippy, the Wandering Supernatural Game Cat.
Bing. Oh, there it is. I think we've given Drippy a different call out before, and every time I always wonder if it has anything to do with Ni no Kuni, and if it does, then awesome, and if it doesn't, then well, just can we pretend? Because I love Ni no Kuni. Guys, if you change your name to GameCat because you love us almost as much as we love you, then make sure you below any Without Parole video, leave a comment that says #GameCat so I can search you out, and then AJ can give you a shout out on next week's show. And we'll probably say something really rude or silly about your name. And so I apologize in advance for any disrespect that you might encounter. But that doesn't mean we don't love you.
Also sign the waiver before changing your name.
That's right. Because if you do change your name to GameCat, then all your bays belong to me. That's how it works. Macho, the real estate procrastinating GameCat with the $5 tip says a GameCat said F my mortgage. So Logitech Pro wheel should be here by Friday. I'm excited to try Gran Turismo 7 and Galaxy Car, but wish me luck on my mortgage.
That's a wise GameCat.
I don't know if you should be giving me money if your mortgage needs attention, but I do appreciate it regardless.
Just get a roommate and help him pay it for it. That's what I did.
Just charge people to use your racing wheel in VR.
Yes, there you go. Pay that sucker off. It'll be worth it, Macho. Don't you worry. It'll be worth it. We'll tell you all about it today.
Dude, I gotta change this trailer because people keep coming in and say, "Wait, what's going on with this fucking Mario Kart trailer? What is happening there?" AJ,
Brian,
a great reason to go join our Discord is so you can leave viewer takeover questions. You can get your shit read on air without even giving us a penny, just like Digital Delirium did. It's hashtag viewer takeover. Is anyone else salivating thinking about PSVR2 potential with PS5 Pro? Do you think it's going to be a repeat where the PlayStation 5 original will just hold it back, or are we at a point where it's easier for devs to just optimize the Pro version? Ooh.
I'm not salivating over the PSVR2 potential with the PS5 Pro because we haven't even really seen the PS5 hit its full stride yet. It's come close, but we know this thing is capable of great things and looking amazing. And honestly, I don't even think I'd be surprised if developers can even keep up at this point. So I think we need to dial it back a little bit with the PS5 Pro. Everyone asked us like a year or two ago. They kept saying, "You think what was it? Like, wasn't there like a rumor that a PS5 Pro was going to come out this year?" And we're like, at least I remember saying, "No, there'll be a revision of the PS5," which lo and behold, there was, because it's just like, that's kind of the first move. So, yeah, what do you think about a PS5 Pro? Because I have zero interest in it at this time.
Listen, I love my PSVR2, and I don't think we're nearly at the point where we can say, hey, it's just been optimized properly for PlayStation 5 for PSVR2. We thought we were going to come out of the gate fist swinging, everything was just going to work properly, and like everything was going to run at max resolution, and we didn't use the words reprojection and mirror back then, because like this is all like, new terminology to us. Wasn't an issue we really encountered or noticed on PSVR 1. And so the fact is that we're just getting started. We are 8-9 months into the launch of PSVR 2. And dude, I talked to a developer today, and they showed me their trailer for their upcoming PSVR 2 game. And so without breaking any embargoes or NDA, all I can say is, holy fucking shit, do we have good games coming that you don't even know about?
That's what I'm salivating about, Brian. That's what makes me salivate, is knowing that there's going to be so many, like there's going to be some huge games that are, big AAA developers. There's not, I'm not expecting like a whole bunch of them, but at least just enough to keep it, stringing along. But yeah, it's those surprise games that come out of nowhere that you don't expect. The Propagation Paradise Hotels and just all the big surprises, in addition to the big titles like Resident Evil 4. That's what makes me salivate, is the games. I want games before, like, more than I want a PS5 Pro.
Yeah. Well, so this, I love where you took this conversation.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to catch up.
No, not at all. But I do need to backtrack a little bit, because this wasn't the full extent of the conversation I had with this developer. We were talking about, I was like, please, for the love of God, tell me about the frame rate, tell me about the resolution, tell me if you use dynamic foveated rendering, because these are all the new keywords and things that people are interested in. And I was like, and if you launch your game, at like 60, reprojected to 120, I was like, somebody out there is going to hate it for the reprojection. So until Sony improves their reprojection, like, these are conversations I have to have with developers all the time and say, is it possible? Could you possibly get this up and running at a native 90? And that's a conversation I had today. The game in question was running at 60 reprojected to 120. And after a long conversation, I'm pretty sure I convinced him to sacrifice a little of some super sampled resolution, so not barely something we'll even notice, in order to get it up at 90 native. These are conversations that, like, I'm trying to have and get out to as many developers as possible, because I think a lot of developers look at their game and they go, this looks fine. We're very happy with the way this looks. But then it gets out there, and compared to things that, other games that we've been getting recently that look phenomenal, it looks rough. And so I'm really, really glad to hear that, like, that these things are possible. I saw this trailer and it looked amazing. And then I was like, there's no way that could run at 90. And they said, oh no, we can make that work. So the thing is, people are still figuring out how to optimize, still figuring out how to use the PlayStation 5 in the best possible way. And so I'm not concerned in the slightest. I think literally by next year at this point, Sony will have updated their reprojection system and it'll work better, so it'll be less noticeable. And on top of that, more people will understand how to optimize and get their games running at a native 90 at least. So
it's a very good point. Very good point. We want PSVR 2 versions of these games. That was one of the reasons I was so excited about Vampire the Masquerade Justice, because I'm like, oh my god, like it's got beautiful haptics and adaptive triggers and headset rumble, and it looks good, and it's got great sound design and like all these things. I don't you know, we have this hardware and we want to see it taken advantage of, like people devs take advantage of it and optimize for it, like you said. So yes, that is something definitely to be more excited about, and just imagine how much better it's going to get as time goes on.
Right. So that's kind of where my headset is, or my mindset is at when it comes to a PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm like, but we don't need one yet. That said, I would fucking buy one in a heartbeat because I love my PSVR 2. And if there's this headset out there that could make everything run at 90, native, no reprojection, highest
4K,
resolution possible.
120.
Yeah. It's like all the stuff that we want without having to tell these developers, oh no, you got to delay your game. Oh no, you got to work on this. You got to optimize it. Something that would just be like, hey, we just made life so much easier for everybody. And now you never really have to worry about things coming unoptimized sirens on my end. So yes, I would buy it. And yes, I'd be excited for it because the PSVR 2 it looks fucking great. It's just, with a little extra power, then like, I think that would save a lot of these developers a lot of trouble.
Yeah. But if we're getting that extra power and they're still bringing a straight Quest port, then what's the point?
True. But let me ask you this.
Now you're in an even worse situation. Absolutely.
But let me ask you this, AJ. When's the last time you saw a straight Quest port that was just that? It was literally just a Quest version with no upgrades whatsoever. Almost every PSVR 2 version of a Quest game or Steam game has had some kind of improvements, whether it be a better frame rate, better resolution, be it rendering, something.
Yeah, there's been some, but there's also, stuff that don't even take full advantage of the thing. Seventh Guest kind of comes to mind. Like, I feel like, Seventh Guest is not bad or anything, but I do like, it does leave me wanting a little bit more in the haptics and, in some of the contrast and clarity and, but it's not bad.
Right. JPEGQ with the $2 tip clarifies and said, I meant to write touring carts, not VR carts.
Oh.
Touring carts was great, but it's still a little bit janky. I think I'd still rather have Galaxy Kart, to be honest with you, over touring carts.
I actually really like touring carts.
Oh, I know. I think
and Gamecat's out of the glue bagger. Where the homie at? I know he also really liked that. There's two of us, Brian. There's two of us.
Hey man, I liked it too. It was pretty janky even after they cleaned it up. And all those F1 tracks, they weren't very cool kart racing tracks.
Yeah, they lack the creative, like fun stuff. But I still thought I actually enjoyed them as just like straight racing tracks. Like they were good.
Yep, I agree. I was going to bring a touring carts trailer up just because.
Too late. Time to move on.
There it is. Okay. Who else we got here? We've got Kawa04 now with the 30 plantains. What up, Kawa? She said, "Good night, everyone." We are on later. Kawa always stays up to watch us, or she tries to stay up to watch us. But starting an hour later was not. I didn't have much faith that was going to be a thing today. Super cool video, bro.
Bye, Kava.
I'll see you in the morning for coffee, Kava. Super cool video, bro. The $2 tip says, think launch games RE8 and Horizon could update to 120. Yeah, I mean, that's what a pro could do, I think. But honestly, I just want to see Sony update their reprojection so that it's less noticeable because Quest uses reprojection. They have their own reprojection system and it's far less noticeable. Like you never hear people complaining about it on Quest. And so it's not like it's
People
not
don't complain
possible.
about anything on the Quest.
Well, that's true. Fucking brainwashed motherfuckers.
And they should.
Just kidding. Send your hate mail to AJ at
Maybe they all
PSVRunderground.com.
I think they all just get blocked on Facebook is what happens.
Maybe. Now,
They get banned.
but yeah, but reprojection on Quest isn't bad, and that's running at a lower frame rate in general. So Sony's got a lot of wiggle room when it comes to improving what they've got going on there. John Sabino with a $56 tip said, "Now, please feed your 10 kids." It's 12 kids, John. So another $7 would be very helpful. John, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you very much. Very generous. Now let's ride the game feline with a $5 tip. Says, speaking of seventh guest. Sorry. Was anyone speaking of seventh guest, AJ?
I just did.
Oh, did you? How did I miss that? Purposefully ignoring people talk about certain things. No, I actually really enjoyed the seventh guest. Speaking of the seventh guest, I played it last night, and I swear the beige color washout was much improved from the last update. Oh, so it works again on PSVR2? Did they ever?
I saw somebody in Discord say like at 2 p.m. today, they said that the patch got fixed or something.
Okay, because I know they rolled back that update that broke it for everybody. So
yeah.
it's good to know that it's out there. The new one is out there.
Which is good because I really want to go back and play that game. Like I'm really in the mood to see it through now, and I also hope that they fix being able to sit while playing it because I'd really like to sit. Like I play most of my games standing up, but this is like one where I'm like, no, I will happily sit and play this, and I would love to. Yeah, so I'll have to check it out tonight or very soon because I really, really want to keep going with this game and see it through.
Yeah. To Nihilus Ryan's point, though, I do want to say, I think if for anyone who's played it, this isn't a spoiler, but it is. I think it is very cool. That beige kind of washed out. You know, when we say, "Oh, why isn't there like more contrast?" That goes away when you solve a puzzle room, and so like kind of this haze clears, and then you get these like stark, like deeper colors, richer colors, and the room modernizes. Like all of the cobwebs and everything fade away, and then boom, you're like left with this modern mansion.
Yeah, but I want to see the dirty, dusty, funky looking stuff with the nice contrast.
I'm just saying when it came to this, I think it was done purposefully so that the transformation would be more dramatic, because it really is dramatic. And it even happens in Ghostbusters. Like sometimes you just get like inundated with that purple haze. Not what I meant to say. But you get into like this fog.
Oh yeah,
that's right. It looks amazing.
It looks amazing, bro. Whoa.
but this like purple fog or whatever rolls in, and then you beat the boss, and everything changes back to normal, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
like,
I still think that looks better
suddenly.
though. I still think that looks better. But I know what you mean. There's like that weird. Not everybody really gets fog or like, you know, it's, I don't know why it's acceptable. Synapse did this too, and it drove me crazy. Where it's like to simulate fog, it's just like a white layer, like just a see-through opaque like layer of like white or something. I don't know. It doesn't look like fog because there's no texture. It just looks like a flat layer of something.
Jizz. It's Monday. I'm just trying to dust off my own cobwebs. I don't know what's going on. There's been people here constantly with no privacy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to act anymore. I need my alone time. We also got a tip from Maxwell Ritt. $2 tip. Gives us the thumbs up. Thank you. I also give you thumbs up.
Thumbs up to you.
Emily Baxter, why don't things scroll properly? Emily Baxter, hashtag the cartoony witch game kitten, right with the $2 tip, says, robbing my birthday money for this tip. Do you think people's goal today, AJ, is to make us feel guilty for accepting money? Because
like mortgage, birthday,
right?
we're terrible people, Brian. We're accepting people's mortgage money, their birthday money.
If anyone's got an inheritance out there, fucking hit us up.
I mean, yeah. Where's all the blood money where we're at it?
Oh, there you go.
I want a tip that somebody died for, or at least got mortally wounded or just wounded.
Markio, the Sleepless Night Underground Game Cat with the level 2 membership says, thanks for sneaking in my last second name change. Oh, bro, that must have been at least an hour before the show because I did it like an hour before the show. If anyone changed their name after that, I fucking did not catch it. But thank you. Also, don't forget, guys, if you become a member over here, then you do get free tips every month that you can get your comments read. Very, very cool stuff. Eventually it'll make it even more worthwhile, but right now, that's all we got for you. AJ, how excited are you for Aces of Thunder?
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see that today, Brian. We got news that it's still alive and it's still in development.
What was it? Wait, before we get into the news story, was there doubt that it was just not happening anymore? Is it because every time a developer stops talking about their game for like, I don't know, 3 weeks, it seems like the go-to thought process for everybody is, oh, well, it must be canceled.
No, but it is concerning when developers like they go from promoting their game to complete radio silence, and there's a long history world of games that just disappear, and it's because of the stuff going on behind the scenes. So this one was a little weird because like we haven't heard much about it other than when it was first announced, and then ever since then. And it was like a blog, it was like a YouTube video or something, and like a blog post, and it's like that's not always a guarantee. That things can change, things can happen. So it's not so much as like the immediate first thought, so much as like, well, now we can just rest easy knowing that it's at least coming, and we've been reassured that it's still in development.
So how frequently do these updates have to keep coming to reassure everybody that it's still coming? Like if they don't talk for another 6 months, like are we like, oh, well, I guess we were wrong. It's not coming.
I don't know.
I'm just asking, man. I don't know.
I just try to read the room at the time, Brian. It's a developer by developer case.
No, I just find it humorous. Maxwell Ritt in the chat says, I noticed Requisition devs are quiet. Requisition is radio silent. So they're still, Requisition guys are still hard at work on doing games on other platforms, but they have not been approved by Sony to do anything on PSVR2, which is sad. Not because Requisition seemed like it was amazing. It looked like it was a pretty cool zombie survival game that you could, duct tape any two items
because they
together.
don't have enough of those.
Well, I mean, this one was pretty unique, but the game I wanted from them was a game that was supposed to come to PSVR 1 called Hinge. Remember that? And Hinge was just a straight up fucking horror game, like a haunted house type horror game. And,
and you questioned me that why do I think games get canceled?
Well, but this is on Sony. They wanted to bring it to PSVR 2, and again, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, exactly. It happens. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so today's news, AJ, is what?
Well, it's Gran Turismo 7's amazing. Oh, you mean the news leading up to that? It's
sometimes I just don't know what we're doing here.
we got an update from the Aces of Thunder. This is, of course, the self-proclaimed, also proclaimed by some others. They tweeted out today, Brian. Mm-hmm. They gave us an update, and they said we're continuing to introduce aircraft to the upcoming realistic military flight simulator, Aces of Thunder, which is being developed for the PlayStation VR2. And they gave us a couple screenshots to boot. And Brian, you asked me how excited I am for this. I'm very, very excited for this game, as well as Ultra Wings 2. Especially after the big disappointment that Project Wingman was. I'm like, I'm okay. That was a dud. Move on to the next one. We got something else. We got 3 chances here, Brian. We got 3 chances. One of these is going to get it right. I already know Ultra Wings is probably going to be pretty damn good. So that one, in my opinion, is probably a pretty safe bet. This one's a little bit more unknown, but it looks great from the little that we've seen. The thing that's exciting here is that they're working on developing more content for it, which is like when I saw the original trailer, I was like, this doesn't look like this looks fun,
Right.
but it looks very bare bones. And so introducing some new aircrafts, things like that, I will gladly, they can take as long as they want, as long as they deliver like a good game with just enough content, to keep it fun and satisfying.
And this is coming from the War Thunder people. So like, I feel like this is a team that knows how to support a game post-launch. So even if it does launch like pretty light on content, just keep bringing stuff. And I think that's going to be pretty exciting to know that this game could like live for the entire generation on our consoles or on in our headsets. What I'm curious about more than anything else, though, is, and I don't think I considered this prior, this seems like a PSVR2 exclusive. So I feel like this is like being funded by Sony. Why would Gaijin Entertainment, a team that has War Thunder on every platform imaginable, be like, we're going to do a VR spin-off and only put it on currently the smallest user base headset out there? It seems pretty crazy. So I feel like there's going to be some wheeling and dealing behind the scenes. This has to be financed by Sony. They say, listen, they must have gone to him and said, we want War Thunder in VR. They said, well, how about this? And I feel like that's how it all went down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Looking at the website, there's only a PlayStation VR2 thing here. And the description of the game on their Twitter says, experience the thrill of aerial combat like never before with Aces of Thunder, the upcoming VR game made specifically with the capabilities of PlayStation VR2.
Isn't it? Didn't Project Wingman say something similar to that? Frontline 59 was like using PSVR2 specific features. Oh, you mean VR?
Yeah, but this is like, I think, a VR only game, which is nice. So we don't have to worry about getting catfished by that again.
Right. No, this is exciting. This is a team that knows how to make a multiplayer game, that knows, and it's not, from what, if I remember correctly, this is not free to play. This is, so anyone who's like, oh, is it pay to win? Like, do you have to just keep dumping money into this? That's not what it sounds like. It sounds like it's a game that you pay for, and who knows how they'll keep supporting it. So this could. I
will gladly pay to have like a full game. At least by VR standards. I will gladly pay $30, whatever it is. If it's got several hours of content, got some depth and variety. And it's fun and it looks good, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is one I'm very excited for. I'm going to keep my eyes on. And yeah, I mean, we've obviously were let down with Project Wingman, and we didn't get enough flight games last gen. And so hopefully this succeeds. Hopefully Ultra Wing succeeds, and we'll kick off the first year of PSVR2 on a fairly positive note, and hopefully that continues throughout the course of the generation. But yeah, getting 2 flight games, or I guess technically 3. We got to count it, even if it wasn't great. And
this was the first time. This was the first time we heard from them since they announced the game back in March. It seems.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me quickly go over here to.
They have 3 tweets on their Twitter account prior, and they all started in March. So I think that's probably around the time it was announced. And yeah, I'm glad that Sony this is maybe a Sony funded game, and yeah, and if the Aces of what's it called, Aces of Thunder developers are listening, the reason Project Wingman sucked was because it was, first of all, not the full game in VR. They only gave us 6 levels. It didn't look very good. And yeah, and it was very, very light on content. So don't make those same mistakes. Make it look good. Give us more than 6 levels, because that did not last, especially for a $30 price point. And don't overprice it. Right.
Although, I mean, for the love of God, please, if you're bringing us a $70 game, we will fucking pay $70 for this, because this is the kind of flight game we want. We want it full featured. We want it to have everything that we want. Super high quality, and
support the HOTAS. Old Darth has a great point. Support the HOTAS controller.
Oh my God. Listen.
Although
a fucking moron would release a flight game and not support the HOTAS.
That's true, but
are you listening? Fucking moron.
If it does use the orb controllers, like, that's acceptable, because I actually prefer Ultra Wings with the thing because it was so intuitive and so interactive and fun and responsive, and it was really nice. So, but still, you should still use the HOTAS, or support the HOTAS.
I agree. This is I'm really curious, man. I was trying to get some kind of clue from watching this trailer, wondering if there's any chance that we could have sense support, but I don't know. My guess is that it's going to be HOTAS only, or HOTAS and DualShock, obviously. But
oh god, if it's DualShock only, I'm going to be really mad.
HOTAS and DualShock only, not sense controllers. If it was a DualShock only, I think it's
no. I see a hand. There's a hand with a thumbs up in one of these pictures, so it definitely uses the sense controllers.
That is awesome. I totally missed that. I was watching the trailer. I should have looked at the pictures.
Yeah, they've got yeah. No, I'm seeing hands. He's like rubbing his plane and stuff. So definitely uses the orbs, which is good.
Cool. Oh yeah, right there in the fucking beginning of the trailer. Yeah, he's grabbing onto the whole thing.
Watch it be a dual, like a cut scene or something. God damn it!
Right, it's all stock animations and shit. Yeah. Here, let me check tips.
Or it comes out with DualSense support, and the trailer's like changed or gone or removed. It's like not again. Oh man, no, but I'm really excited about this game. I'm looking forward to this and Ultra Wings too. I love fight games. I love dogfighting games. They're just incredibly fun and immersive, and yeah, man, I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah. Rachel in the chat is asking if Aces of Thunder is multiplayer only, and I believe that. I believe that to be the case only because, and I don't know if this has already been stated or not, or if we've just sort of assumed it all along because of the War Thunder origins. Because War Thunder is this massive online multiplayer game, and so we just kind of assumed like maybe this is also that. So I don't know, but I'm betting when it was announced, they were way more clear about what this game is, and since then I have totally lost the narrative. Nick Mule in the chat says press X to rub plane.
With different competitive online game modes available, such as team versus team and single duels, you'll be able to test your skills against other virtual pilots in intense aerial battles. Yeah, I don't know if there's single player. I mean, it only says the focus is exclusively on aerial combat. So don't know. I hope it's not multiplayer only though. But again, the fallback here is Ultra Wings because I think Ultra Wings will be good, and that is like a 20-hour, if not more, long game of just single player flying content, which is great.
Yeah, I think when this trailer first debuted, you were like, "Oh, they probably just began development," and I was like, "What? What are you talking about? This looks pretty polished." And but you know, the further along in development we get, and the fact that we haven't heard much about it, makes me think that maybe you were right. And at this point, maybe they don't even know if there's going to be a single player campaign in there. Otherwise, they'd be way more vocal about exactly what to expect. But anyway, I love flying in VR, and so I'm going to be excited for this no matter what. But it could, you know, make sure you temper your expectations. It could very well be a multiplayer only game.
Yeah.
A Dizzle in the chat with the Canadian $7 says, is it possible for developers to have selectable fidelity modes, 120 repro with better graphics, or 90 frames per second dynamic for people who can't handle reprojection? Yes, it is, because Alvo already did this.
Yep.
They
give you the option to toggle between reprojection or 90. What is it? 90 locked.
Yep. And honestly, I didn't. I don't think I noticed. Alvo's not the most graphically intense game out there, but I didn't notice any downgrade in fidelity when I switched over to 90 frames per second.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge difference.
Yeah. So yes, it is totally possible. The question is like how much work, you know, is the developer going to put into that? They now suddenly optimizing for kind of 2 SKUs and letting people switch between it. You know, it's possible, but I wouldn't expect it to become the norm or anything like that.
Well, we know that it took one guy 6 months to do No Man's Sky, and that's a big freaking game. so maybe, hopefully, that means it takes less time for smaller studios and more engineers.
Wes Dillon of Virtual Strangers fame is in the chat with the 650 tip. Says taking from my son's Christmas to pay for your pizza.
Well, all you got to do is be like, Dad, how come I didn't get anything for Christmas this year? And be like, because Brian Paul needed that money for pizza.
Wow.
Blame Brian Paul.
Boy.
He thought he loved you all.
The rest of the internet's been doing it for years, so fucking keep it up. Twitcher the Deuce Juice. Yes, thank you, Wes, by the way. Twitcher the Deuce Juice. Gamecat with the 2 quid says, no one has been killed for this tip money yet.
Dang.
Yet.
There is hope.
We'll get there. Frank.
Don't do that.
Camilleri.
I am not saying to do that.
You heard it. AJ's advocating that you kill people for money. Frank Camilleri with the Canadian $5 tip says, how do we convince Sony to hire a modder team to make Dead Space 2 for PSVR2? Dude, somebody said in the comments today in the Ghostbusters VR trailer, they said, this is what Sony needs. Sony needs a first-party studio that and all they do all day, every day is port flat-screen games, first-party and involuntary third-party games into first-person VR for PSVR 2.
Seriously, Killzone 3 would look beautiful in PSVR 2, and you're already 90% there. Because they already designed it around motion controls, with the sharpshooter and the moves, and you've got like the groundwork for it. That Resistance 3, bring some of those back.
JPEG Q with the $2 tip says, wanted Ace Combat 7 and Star Wars Squadrons on PSVR 2 with HOTAS controls. Yep.
Yeah.
I think preaching to the choir.
A lot of people are, I see so many people clamoring for Star Wars Squadrons remastered.
Yep. It's not so, dude. It's not so. All these developers just leaving their games on PSVR 1, like just radio silent about it. No idea what's going on. No idea. Fifth, with the Australian $5 tip, says, do you want devs at the 2024 meetup to chat and show games, or would you just like the cats hanging out?
Cats hanging out.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, PAX has always been about the fans. You go around, to a place for fans to check out games and play games, go hands-on stuff. It's never been a place for like reviews or anything like that. And so just keeping in line with all of that. Yeah, that's fully what I expect from the Gamecat meetup. We got some devs showing up just because they're fans of the channel and they're friends of ours. So there will be devs there, but that won't be their role there. That's for sure.
And your job is to ask them 1,000 questions. Yes. 1,000 annoying questions. Ain't that right, GC? You're going to answer all of them.
Chrome Colossus with the $5 tip says, Alvo devs didn't actually improve the graphics in the 120 hertz mode, but they said they might. They just said use 90 hertz for now. Oh, see, I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was running at 60 reprojected to 120, and then they were convinced to get a 90 native mode in there.
That's
interesting. Though. So maybe I just misheard. All right, AJ, let's get back on track here. We've got you and I went hands-on today with demo for Tin Hearts. Demo is coming out later in the week.
Shout out to Virtual Strangers, Wes, for getting us demo keys.
Shout out to Impact Reality as a whole.
Yes.
Here, I know I captured footage of this, so let's get this up right now. AJ, I was under the impression this was going to be about 10 minutes of my time, and maybe I'm just bad at puzzle games, but I did not get very far in 10 minutes. How did you get on with this?
I got through a couple levels.
Okay,
like 3 maybe.
Yeah, I got to the third one. And then I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Because here's something that I did not expect. Yeah. First, I didn't expect this long-ass loading screen. This is like, see this loading icon down here? What the fuck, man? It's Tin Hearts. Also, when the game started up, I was a little surprised. There's like definitely some aliasing issues. Like the game doesn't look clean for what it is.
It looks like a PSVR 1 game.
It does look like a PSVR 1 game.
Like exactly like a PSVR 1 game.
Yeah. And I mean, and I got over that all pretty quickly, just because it's charming. There's nice soundtrack, music, the whole thing, and the little tin soldiers roaming around. Shit. It's all charming, but yeah, there is no reason this game can't be running at a higher resolution. That's for sure.
It looks like it was originally intended for PSVR, and then they had to like stop the development and then just kind of like make it work on PSVR 2.
Yeah. It feels like that's what happened, and so, but I did like what I was playing. And I think that's the more important part here, is that the type of puzzle game that this is, it's very Lemmings like, and I definitely thought I was going to have more creative freedom in terms of how to solve these puzzles, and maybe I do later on, but at the beginning you definitely don't, and you're just moving pieces around in order to bounce these guys off of walls and send them to their little home, just like Lemmings. The part that I was surprised about was that by level 3, I was teleporting around the room. I didn't realize. I thought every puzzle was going to be kind of contained in one specific space. No movement required. But then here I am, level 3, teleporting around the room. Not even sure what objects I can pick up. Like, I don't seem to have any objects to pick up. So this game went from being like super crazy easy in the first couple levels, and I think the levels that they give you for the demo are levels that happen throughout the course of the game. It's not like the first 4 or 5 levels. Then I get to a point where I was like, "What am I supposed to be doing right now?" And I stumbled around that room for probably 10 minutes, not being able to find anything, any pieces to use.
Did you open the box to get the thing started?
Yeah, all the tin soldiers just walked forward and fell right.
You got exactly
ledge.
where I got. Okay. That's as far as I got too.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, I stopped playing. Well, because first I was short on time, and you said 10 minutes, and I was like, all right, I'll give this puzzle game 10 minutes of my time to talk about it today. But I actually, I get that. Some people require teleportation and snap turning, but that shit makes me nauseous. So like I was starting to feel a little icky. And so I was like, I'm not even going to bother. Like I know I'm like the opposite of a lot of people. But no, teleportation and click turn, especially in puzzle games where you're trying to explore.
Yeah.
That is like a cardinal sin for me. And like, I was just, I agree. It's like, yeah, it was kind of charming. Whatever. It's not my thing, but I usually still try to give like an objective opinion on it. It's like Seventh Guess. It's like I was not enjoying it very much, but I still thought it was a good game. This was like that was killing me though. I cannot do puzzle games with teleportation and click turning only that look like a PSVR 1 game. I don't care how charming it is or how creative it is. Like it was killing it for me. But I'm with you in that. Yeah, like I could definitely see like the charm, the inspiration, that it has.
Yeah, I definitely have a problem with the click turning and teleportation as well, especially when I would teleport to the other side of the room and my entire screen would go black because I was apparently too close to the wall. And I was like, why did you let me teleport this close to the wall? If like you were just going to say, nope, screen's going black, and then I have to teleport randomly to make the screen light back up. Here's what I'll say about this. I'm horribly disappointed by the demo itself, despite the fact that I think it's going to be a charming game. I'm glad that we are counting down to the release of the demo and not counting down to the release of the game. Apparently, we will be getting the demos coming out on PSVR2 for everybody this week, and then and I believe Wes said that later in the week we will get the release date for the full game. I hope it's a ways out. I hope they've got a few months ahead of them because this needs to be optimized. They need to really polish some of the rough edges because unfortunately, this is the type of game when I was playing it, I was like, I can't believe anyone would play this on the flat screen. Like it just doesn't. I don't know because it's so tactile because you're picking up blocks and moving them around. Why I don't know why anybody would be playing this on the flat screen. So if this is kind of like the definitive version of your game, Sirens on my end. So make sure it is in fact the definitive version of your game so that it looks good, it plays good, and I really, really hope that they're not averse to maybe delaying or pushing back the release date a little bit to make sure that this is polished and looks good and plays good. Because right now it's almost there, but it's not yet.
Yeah, and I think this game is doomed because it's also $30.
Oh, wow.
I saw it on the store. The store said it was $30.
Okay.
And I was like, I mean,
yep.
It's just like clueless. Like, I honestly don't even think these devs are really like big fans of VR. Like, I don't know. Like, to be honest with you,
tell me more, AJ.
The reason I say that is because like I don't think they can handle VR because the game is very much designed like people that can't handle VR with teleport only, click turning only, a bunch of settings that are meaningless that are like there's like 50 settings to like invert the sticks or whatever. There's like it says smooth. I think it says smooth turning or something.
It says smooth something, but like but
it doesn't work.
It doesn't. Smooth sticks or something. It said.
Yeah, like smooth sticks. Yeah, I don't know.
There it is on the screen right there. Like, what is all this? Like, invert this, invert that, and just let me play it like a normal fucking VR game.
But honestly, I begged these people to bring us that. This is like Wired Productions or whatever. I think are the publishers. I don't know if they're also the developers here.
No, Rogue Sun, the developers.
Okay, so that would make sense. But I've been begging Wired Productions to bring us that roll cage inspired game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that would be so amazing. But they seem too scared to do it. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Anyway,
but they don't realize that like that's what the hardcore VR audience plays is like stuff like that.
Right. So, dude, who was it? What's the Dredge VR? No, what the fuck? It's like some sailing game. And I asked the developers, I was like, would you ever bring this to VR? Because people on PC had already modded it. And they were like, oh yeah, we considered VR, but it would, but sailing in VR would make everybody sick. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I told him, I was like, we're the kind of gamers that like to do, backflips and shoot people upside down in slow motion bullet time, in games like Hellsweeper and Sirento. I was like, sailing is nothing for us.
The more restricted I am, the more like uncomfortable and like nauseous I get. Yeah. Like it's really the freedom that is nice. Grip is the name of the game. I would absolutely love that, or like a VR spin-off of that game. I want it so bad because I loved Roll Cage back in the day. I actually played some Grip, and it was pretty fun. But it's a flat game, and I don't really, I lose interest in flat games that are not named Final Fantasy VII after like a little bit of time.
Okay. What are your thoughts on games that are called Gran Turismo, AJ?
Woo-wee!
Wow. I don't think I was expecting that. Dude, this update that we just got on a couple days ago for Gran Turismo 7 Spec.
Now we're talking. Now the show has begun, cats.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
AJ, listen, I'm going to let you lead this conversation because you've been playing this all weekend, and I only had to play a little bit after the workers left today. So tell me all the reasons we should be excited for this Gran Turismo update.
Oh man, yes. When you said like, what did I do this weekend? I said playing games all weekend. Yeah, I was playing some Vampire Masquerade Justice, but the truth is, I was playing Gran Turismo Spec 2 update all weekend.
Now the truth comes out.
Now the truth comes out. I did play Vampire some more though, and I had a great weekend, Brian. A great weekend playing both of these games.
Oh my god! So this is so unfair. You left me to play fucking Ghostbusters, and you were out having fun. God damn, I hate this relationship.
Yeah, you were stuck
awful.
with Ghostbusters and whatever the hell else. Bad Dreams.
Peaky
you
Blinders.
were playing again for the fifth time, and I was playing a Peaky Blinders. Oh Lord! Yep. Did you see the? Anyways,
tried not to.
Dude, so this update is like I think the first like major update to the game, where they did a big overhaul to a lot of stuff. Actually, Brian, we can bring up the PlayStation Store blog here, which will give us.
I'll get the link to it.
You've got the link.
Yes, sir.
This will give us. This will, yeah. He's like copy paste searching Google search. This will actually give us like the actual rundown of everything, but I would love to share some of my thoughts, and I would love to get some of your impressions as well.
Sure.
But good freaking God, man, this game. What my favorite part about this update is that it got me back into playing Gran Turismo again, which I don't know why I needed a reason. But this was like a reminder, like, oh yeah, like you need to come back and play this. So not only have I been playing the new content, but I've been just playing additional content as well. There's so much stuff here. First and foremost, Brian, we'll break it down piece by piece. There are now snow levels, snow tracks. There's the Lake Louise in Canada. Yeah, man, there's a new snow track. There's 3 different like circuits, world circuits you can do or whatever with them. And then you can also do like single little solo races.
We need to stop for a second, man, because let's talk about these snow tracks, because it's funny. It's something that I didn't know we were missing until we finally got it. And so when I jumped in and played, this is the first time I've been back in Gran Turismo 7 in a very, very long time. I don't think it's been since the review, but it was certainly soon after the review that I had to put it down and focus on other games. And so getting back in there, sadly, not using my racing rig, because my rig and wheel and everything is covered because of all the construction happening in here. I don't want it to get all like dusty and whatever, and it's also stuff piled on top of it. So I for the first time in a very long time, I was using my DualSense playing this game. In my DualSense, by the way, game looks beautiful. The game looks beautiful. My DualSense was going crazy. It was like, I was like, holy shit. Like, what does this feel like with the racing rig? Was it just like, I mean, if I can only imagine that my downstairs neighbor would be calling the police or something. Like, what is happening up there?
My racing rig was absolutely bouncing around the entire time. I mean, like you'll get some force feedback when like you're like turning really hard or something. This is just the entire time. It's just like just like holding on for dear life. It is literally like this the entire time, and I absolutely freaking adore it, man. Nice. It is so good, and of course, you know it's Gran Turismo, so they really. They do a lot of work and thought into the physics, into the things like that. And, you know, I've never driven on like hardcore snow or hardcore racetracks into the snow. So I'm not really the best judge, but from experience, but playing this, I definitely feel like I am driving on a snow track, and there's different rules that apply here where like, you know, it's slippery and like you got to be mindful about the tires and like when you're hitting the gas and stuff, because otherwise if you just punch the gas, like your wheels will be spinning and you won't be going anywhere. Like there's a strategy, like an art form to this style of racing that separates itself. And dude, oh my God, it is just like you said, the new map is beautiful. The mountains and the trees are all crystal clear. There's like not really like any pop in or any noticeable pop in. Yeah, I absolutely love this. And I just wish I could, it's hard to describe, but man, like this was like, I was playing this and I was just like, this is something like really special. This game is something, it just reminded me how freaking special this game is. And yeah, man, I am just totally hooked to it again. I'm going to be I'm going right back in after GAMESCAST.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, there's all sorts of craziness. I was reading on the on the blog post that there's stuff like that even VR gamers won't care about because it doesn't pertain to us. Things like 4 players split screen now. Like
that's really cool.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, like I feel like split screen is sort of a lost art. Like people playing on the same screen, local multiplayer. You know, that was so big. 4-player split screen multiplayer was so big in the N64 days. Like that was my entire college career right there. And it was like, it feels like it's just kind of faded away. And I'm not totally sure why. even like Halo games and things that like were really big on split screen multiplayer. It's just kind of gone by the wayside. And TVs are bigger now than ever, so it's splitting the screen up 4 ways on a tiny little CRT television in college sucked, but doing it now, it's like, oh, you actually get a decent size space to work with on your like a 60-inch HD TV.
Yeah,
So,
this is obviously like irrelevant to the VR stuff, but I totally agree with you. To have such a big racing game, and this update was honestly, man, after playing this update, and there's loads more I got to talk about here, but
sure.
But this update has basically both been a reminder and has solidified my viewpoint that this is the greatest racing game I've ever played of all time. Like
Excellent.
this is the greatest racing game I've ever played in my life or ever experienced. And it is absolutely my favorite because it is just so next level in terms of the fact that it makes hardcore sim racing accessible to somebody like me that's not really into that kind of thing.
Yep.
And like I'm learning a bunch about it, and I'm learning to play it, and it's just like such an experience, man. It's such an experience. Each little track, each little vehicle offers like a different experience in itself, and there's just godly amounts of content here to explore. And in the snow levels alone, like, dude, I played the same tracks like over and over and over till like I got really good at it and stuff. And man, it just the experience was incredible.
Yeah, right. So I'm unfortunately, because of current circumstances, I haven't had a chance to check out everything, but there is so much. Did you go through all the new licenses and race against Sophie 2.0 and all of that?
Okay, I didn't do the new licenses. I did see them though, and I am aware of them, and I will get to that. I didn't try those yet. So the new snow track has 3 like world circuit challenges or whatever. There's one where you're like racing with trucks, which is awesome because, dude, the truck is like, you're racing against like all these little cars and stuff, and they're faster, but because they're lighter, they're smaller. They don't, they have to be like very careful about the way they drive. With the truck, it's just the tires are so big and grippy, and the truck's so big that you just hauling ass, like, and you like, there's like not a care in the world. Like it just handles anything that the snow throws at it. Like it's no match for the truck here. But that's really cool. Then there's like the GRB, I think, racing style cars, and then like there's like other types of race cars. But dude, yeah, God, dude, there's so much here. I don't even know where to begin. So the important thing to note also, Brian, so they've replaced how there was typically an arcade mode, like they would always have the world circuit stuff. You could go choose a level or whatever, and
right.
You could compete in the tournaments to like in the cafe missions and all that. They've now taken the arcade mode, which was like basically kind of like customize your race a little bit more, and they've turned it into this quick match thing, which you can now select quick match instead of arcade mode, and then it gives you the options to play the different levels, the different day times. It's kind of just like an exhibition match, and you can also play these levels at night, and the snow levels are also beautiful at night. Did you get to play those?
Yeah, that's actually what we were just showing. It was one of the snow levels at night. It was the triangle shaped one. It was
the tri-oval reverse or whatever that I told you to play.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it really was beautiful. Like these nighttime races are amazing. So yeah, I mean, dude, there's I awesome data in the chat says, wait, what, truck? Yeah. So there's just so much to it, and I did I did a little bit of the challenges. I did a little bit of the the exhibition, with Quick Race they call it now, and I'm really enjoying this kind of like overhaul that they've given this thing. But I barely scratched the surface. I was like, oh, if I play for 45 minutes, I'll be fine. I'll get to check everything out. And
this is like a No Man's Sky, like Hello Games style update for this game. Like this is a big chunk of content and stuff to play and explore.
Yeah, as we were approaching Gamescast time, I was suddenly understanding what you were saying. You had texted me and said, "Well, you'll get to experience some of it, but I played all weekend." And I was like, "Oh, come on, it'll be fine." And I was absolutely wrong. I'm definitely gonna be playing a whole lot more of this, and especially again when I get my racing rig dug out. Like I can't wait to get back to this because, dude, I'd forgotten how beautiful this game looks. I'd forgotten just how great it feels to be in there, and even playing with the DualSense today. People had asked me prior, they said, well, if you don't have a racing rig, do you recommend this? And I was kind of like, well, I'm not a racing sim fan. And the reason I love it so much is because of the rig and the wheel and because of just how great Gran Turismo 7 is. But it's because of the experience. And so I was always nervous about recommending the game to people who didn't have a wheel. But I was playing it today and I was having an absolute blast with the DualSense. So I think I retract all those statements and say, fucking play this however you can play it. Because in VR, it's fantastic one way or another.
Okay, so there's 7 new cars. There's the new circuit, which is the Lake Louise, with 3 layouts. And there's also little like time trials and little challenges within the snow circuit thing. And it teaches you a lot about like drifting and stuff. Like there's a big loop, like it goes down a hill and then there's a big giant loop and it basically puts you into a rocket and then is like figure out how to drift around this loop on the ice or whatever. There's an update to world circuits. There's the Gran Turismo Sophie, the AI driver agent with quick race. So that's something that's new. The Sophie, which is the AI, it's like the Sophie 2.0. And in the quick races now, there'll be little maps that have like a little purple heart icon. And those are the ones that you can choose when you select those. It says race against normal AI, race against Sophie. I did race against it, but I don't think I've done it enough because some people are saying how it's amazing. The only difference that I've noticed so far, and again, I didn't race a ton against Sophie, just enough to get a feel for it. The only difference that I feel like I noticed is that it seems like they're aware of your presence a little bit more.
Okay.
While the normal races, they're just kind of driving and like they just kind of react to like if they get hit, they just try to correct themselves. Like they're not really worried about anything else going on. I do feel like the Sophie kind of it like senses your presence a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
and they also
because I wasn't racing against Sophie. I was doing the regular races, the snow races that I showed the footage of, and I was like, God damn! Like I know it's been a while since I've been in this game, but I am racing like a dirt bag. Like I am just being mean to these other cars. I'm running them off the road. I'm smashing into them. I'm using them as barriers. Right? I'm just doing all the worst things, the stuff you're not supposed to do in Gran Turismo. And I'm like, and I felt so bad. But then another car came up and just fucking smashed into me, and I was like, oh, it's on. It's on. They don't give a fuck about you. So I do understand the difference when Sophie's a little bit more like aware of your position when you say that kind of thing. I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah, and Corey Massey says Sophie 2.0, she learns how you drive and then adapts to it. So
very cool.
So maybe that's why maybe I didn't spend enough time with it to really see. All I know is that when I cleared it on beginner easy, I cleared it on intermediate easy, and then I played on hard and they were just like destroying me. But that's about it. The other funny thing I like about this is not like an important feature, but it's just a nice little funny touch. Is like there's like it's got like an emoji expression above the Sophie. So like if you're pulling up behind them, it's kind of like it just kind of repeats the same things, but it's still kind of funny. It'll make like an emoji face, like oh no, like you're approaching, like I see you. And then like if you're kind of battling it out, like it'll make like an angry face. If it passes you, it smiles, and like if you crash, it'll like laugh at you or something. Like it's it's pretty funny. It's kind of sinister, but no, but yeah, I need to spend more time with that. My focus mainly has been on the snow tracks, which again, it's like to me, it's like a brand new game. It's so much different, and it was just such an amazing experience. And then, of course, the new cars, the new vehicles, that are available. I saw you rolling some Charger SRT Demon footage a second ago.
Yeah, I picked up the Challenger 2018, and which was, they said, was a new car, and I couldn't use that on on obviously the snow races, but I could use it on whatever that the last track I had shown was, and it was nice, man. It's nice. So here's my only issue with them debuting new cars is like it's hard for me to get excited about it because once I completed the campaign and beat all the the standard menu books in Gran Turismo 7, that's when I put it down and I was like, there's still so many cars for me to get. And so when they say, oh, we've now introduced this car and this car and this car and this car and this car, I'm like, that's great. I'll just add it to the pile of cars I don't own yet. But again, it is something that makes me more excited to get back in there.
The Demon is nice. Yeah, sorry, I meant to say Challenger. I get there was also a 68 Charger that was added to the Legend cars. But yeah, that car, I mean, for a muscle car, that thing really maneuvers really well and it's really fast.
Vince Virtue in the chat says, have you tried the rally tracks much? Dude, when I was doing the review, I was loving the rally tracks because I'm not like a great rally racer or anything. I played a bunch of dirt rally, obviously last gen. I remember doing the what was the rally cross game on PlayStation 1? It was like a Sony first party game
called Dirt Rally
on PlayStation 1, not PSVR 1.
It
was just like something.
I know what you want. It was like one of the popular early titles.
It was a first party Sony rally game, and so I've always like sort of had like a fascination with them, even though I've never been good at them. And I've never liked rally racing more than I did in Gran Turismo 7 when I was doing them for reviews. I thought just absolutely loved the way they felt. Yeah,
I don't think the dirt is as good as Dirt Rally. Like on PSVR 1, I don't think it's not as fun. It is very challenging.
Also keep in mind that I didn't have a wheel or rig back then, right? I was using a crappy little throwaway wheel, like just to try it out, and then I was like, I'll just use my controller instead. And so I didn't get the full experience, I don't think, last gen.
Yeah, despite it being extremely difficult and kind of frustrating, I still also really, really liked it. And I've always liked Gran Turismo for that. There's like the Fisherman's Loop or whatever it's called, Fisherman's something Ranch. I've always really enjoyed those levels, even if they're whatever. But the snow, the ice tracks are just so next level for me. I just really love learning like how you're supposed to drive on those and stuff, and they just mix with my play style really well. Yeah, man, just so good, so freaking good.
To everyone in the chat that's trying to help me out, no, it wasn't Colin McRae Rally or V Rally. I just looked it up. It was called Rallycross, and it was published and developed by Sony first party, and it was great. It was really great. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was like one of the first things I played on. It was like Extreme, and then Rallycross and Crash Bandicoot were like some of the first things I played.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. I was the only one on the face of the planet that hated those 2 Extreme and 3 Extreme games. I was like, these are crap. I hated them back then.
They weren't very good. I don't think anybody liked them.
I thought I was in the minority on that. I thought those were right up there with Jet Moto.
Don't you say it. Don't you say it. Man. You fucker. Everybody loved Jet Moto and Cool Borders. Everybody loved Cool Borders.
Okay, listen. I joke around about Jet Moto for the sake of a couple laughs on the channel. I like Jet Moto. I owned Jet Moto 1, and I played the crap out of that for a year.
We're not doing this again, Brian.
Cool Borders was never good.
Get him, chat. Get him, chat.
Cool
Tell him how wrong he is.
SSX was the first time we got a good snowboarding game. I'm sorry, guys.
Pitchforks.
Yep.
Pitchforks and torches.
Okay, Snowboards Kids on N64 was pretty good too. Yep.
Anyways, back to this though, man. What else they got in this? So There's the Sophie, which is pretty cool. I need to spend more time with it. 50 challenges added to licenses. Yeah, there's a whole new license thing. Paddock.
Give us 3 or 4 more different pronunciations of it. This is my favorite part of the show so far.
Paddock added to multiplayer menu, which is like basically, I think it's like it's kind of like a hub where you just kind of hang out and can see each other's cars and stuff. But this, I don't think that's VR. I don't think that's VR supported. Maybe I actually didn't try that. 4 players between, features added to photoscapes, updated GT menu dashboard. Yeah, that's one thing that so like to me the big exciting thing, of course, are the snow tracks. But there's definitely a lot of other big changes here. I really like the overhaul of the dashboard and the menu and the quick race menu. I think they did a fantastic job with that.
It's a great game, AJ.
It's one of the greatest games of all time, Brian.
It's a great game, AJ.
It's one of the best VR games I've ever played in my life.
It's true. I mean, it really is. You know, people looking for a killer app on PSVR2. You know, I don't understand. Well, you can just play. You can play it on the flat screen. That's not a good answer to. It's a must. It's a headset seller. It's a must-have title. The fact that you can already play it on the flat screen is not a good answer. I would not play Gran Turismo for all the hours that I played Gran Turismo on the flat screen. I tried, man. I tried. I bought Gran Turismo 1 back on PS1. I bought Gran Turismo 3 back on PS2. I spent, I don't know, 20 or 30 hours in each of those, just like, you know, for a while. And then just sort of gave up on them. I'm already way past that on Gran Turismo 7. Oh, and I do love that they added new menu books. Menu books are, you know, that's the campaign. And so, right. You know, even after you beat the game, there's more menu books. And then and the last time they updated with new tracks, they gave us more menu books. And so here we are with even more menu books. This is sort of like my go-to. It's like, well, I don't know what to do in this game. I'm just going to go do the menu books, unlock cars, and kind of like make progress through the campaign. So I'm glad that they added more of that because I feel like that's just giving us more single-player campaign to do. You know, not that there's not enough of that. So
yeah, there's so much content in this game, and it helps break up the grind a little bit because, you know, you can fall into this trap of trying to just get credits and grind for credits and stuff, and it does get a little repetitive and stuff. This really helps break that up a little bit, and just, you know, the variety. At this point, I'm like earning money just by just playing and just having fun, and I'm still collecting a bunch of currency and, you know, getting the reward tickets, and actually got lucky with a couple of them. But yeah, man, this is phenomenal. This is absolutely a killer app for PlayStation VR2.
Yep.
If anybody ever tells me like there's no games that you know anything is better than PSVR2, I'm just gonna be like Gran Turismo 7 with a racing rig. Like, your argument is invalid. You have no chance here. You have zero chance to win this argument because Gran Turismo 7 exists in its entirety on PSVR2, and it's freaking incredible. And yeah, man, it's literally like I would buy a PSVR2 just for this alone, and I would be happy.
Yeah,
we've already won. We've already won here.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. In fact, I'd say the same thing about Village if it had trophies. But yeah, this is a reason to have a PSVR 2. This is maybe the reason above everything else. You know, the support has actually been surprisingly good from Sony during this whole first 8-9 months since launch. So, you know, this is
I mean, credit where credit's due. This is a first party title. This is a shining example of why people want more of this, because it's just like how good this is. This is like
it's in a league
next
of its own.
level. Yeah, next level in terms of immersion, fun, gameplay, content, value, quality, all of the things. It checks every single box.
Yep.
It's even got multiplayer. It's insane how good this is, man. It's insane. Yeah, and I can't wait to get back to it because I am just having an absolute blast. I've tried to record so much footage and show it, but I'm just like, God, like this still just doesn't show you how much fun I'm having, or like how the excitement that I'm feeling while I'm playing this. Like, if only the footage could translate to show you how just incredible this really is. But there's no way other than just to try it yourself.
Chris Forthenberry in the chat says, Village is great regardless of trophies. Agreed. Trophies should never be a reason to buy a game. Well, it could be for some people, but I will say that you shouldn't avoid Village because it doesn't have the trophy support we're looking for. My problem with Village and trophies is that Resident Evil 7 was my most played game throughout the course of the 7 years that we had PSVR1. And it's because I was so obsessed with knocking out every single trophy and those giving me a reason to replay the game over and over and over again. And so when I finally got that platinum trophy for Resident Evil 7, it was like this badge of honor that I'd done everything. I'd seen everything. I beat the game in under 4 hours. I beat it with this. I finished it that way. And, you know, and it was just great. I beat Village and I was like, where's my next challenge? You know, by the end of Village, the first time, you've unlocked quite a few weapons, and by the time you're halfway through the second run, you've unlocked the stake with unlimited, and you can upgrade to unlimited ammo, and it just becomes this thing where it's like, okay, now you've become so OP. What are we still playing this for? You know, so I do wish that there was trophies in the VR version of Village, just to give me that reason to play and replay and replay and replay. I agree. Should never be the reason to buy a game, or trophy shouldn't prevent you from playing a game. But man, it certainly adds a lot of replay value and gives you things to strive for.
Yeah. With this update, it also was a reminder to me that, like, you know, Polyphony Digital is actually really good at like their post-launch support. Gran Turismo Sport was a disaster at launch. You know, nobody is disagreeing with that. But after a while, it actually started to get really, really good support, and that's when I started getting into it. Once they added support for like every single track, they added support for every single car that was added to the game. You know, it was missing the single player, it was missing multiplayer and stuff. It was missing being able to drive against other cars, except for one. So yeah, it was still flawed, but they did seem like they added whatever they could. And this was like up until the end of the life cycle for it. And yeah, man, this update actually had me questioning if Gran Turismo is actually the best PSVR2 game, because I feel like it is one of it, like, you know, I feel like it might be the best VR game ever made, which in that case it's like, well, how is Village better if this is the best VR game ever made?
Yeah. Well, Village has not gotten any improvements since launch. And so the scores may over time reverse. I think I gave Village a 10 and this like a 9.5 or something. And I
think they're both a 10. I think they're both a 10 out of 10.
Yep. I think so too. I do think that this has gotten better significantly since launch, and certainly more reasons to come back to it than Village. Village was phenomenal. This might be even more so at this point.
I feel like I can sense our top 25 debate 6 months from now, and I could see it being like Resident Evil 4, Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil Village, and then No Man's Sky.
I think Ghost Signal. No. The real space game. No Man's Sky. What? No, Ghost Signal. Let's tackle a couple tips, AJ, and then we'll let you get back to playing some Gran Turismo.
Yes. It's so good, guys. Go out and get this right now if you haven't. You can get this game for like $20, by the way. Just absurd.
Oh, yeah, that is crazy. Super cool video, bro, with the $5 tip says, would you guys want an officially licensed Sharpshooter 2 type peripheral for the Sense controllers, even though there are already good options online? So he's basically saying, do we want... Hold on, I actually got my Sharpshooter.
Mine's downstairs.
Fucking right here, right off camera. It was great, man. You put the little nav controller in here and your move controller up here, and then it was basically an aim controller for your PS3. And it was great.
Aim controller was better.
This is how... But it wasn't out yet. This is all we had. This is how I played Killzone 3. This is how I played Resistance 3, all the way through from beginning to end, and it was fantastic. So, but he's basically saying, do we want a gun stock, right? An official gun stock.
I don't think so. I like having two hands. I like holding a virtual gun. I like manual reloading way too much.
Yep.
I am too much a fan and I'm too much of a fan of manual reloading to go back to that. Do I like those things? Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They're great, but I'm just I love manual reloading way too much.
Well, a lot of the ones we've gotten, I think the Vader one and the what's the even bigger one called? We've got them both here. Was it?
I don't know.
Well, we got the Vader one and the more popular one sitting around here. You've got them. I've got them.
I haven't used it yet.
and they allow you to slide your controller in and out. So when you need, here you are. You've got your two-handed weapon, and then you can slide out or use the magnets depending on which one you're using to grab your clip, magazine, reload, and do your thing, and then slide it back in. So then you've got your two-handed weapon again. And so these, the manufacturers of these have been forward thinking and said, oh, well, yeah, obviously, these games are two-handed by nature. So how are we going to handle this? And they gave us some good options. ProTube? ProTube is the big one. That's what I meant. I'm sure somebody in the chat's already told me, right? Yep. Everybody in the chat's already told me. I'm sorry, guys. Looper knows all. So thank you. But yeah, do I want an official one? I would want an official one if Sony came up with something very cool. If they really had like an AIM 2.0 in like a very cool way of just saying chunk, like, oh, now this hand is free and I've got a piece of the AIM with me so I can reload and do my thing and then pop it right back in place. But I just feel
it made more sense to me when we had the limitations of the dual shock and the move controller. Yep. It made more sense to me then to have the AIM controller. But yeah, I feel like that especially with the use of haptics, go play Crossfire Sierra Squad and tell me you need an AIM controller. Because holy shit.
Yeah, I just I feel like it's something that we all really wanted at launch. We all really said, "Oh man, we hope they support AIM 2.0 because it was the best way to play Firewall. It was the best way to play Arizona Sunshine. It was the best way to play this game or that game." And now we've got these fucking amazing controllers that are the best way to play every game. And I kind of don't want to, finagle these things into a gun stock in order to play, especially when I don't really have to. I feel like a lot of the games control really well for what they are. So I'm glad the options are out there for people who love them. And hopefully, hopefully when I'm able to, I'll be able to test them out a little bit more and see if they're actually something that I'll be using more. But do we need an official one? I don't think so personally.
Yeah. When I'm holding a double-barreled shotgun in Resident Evil or Crossfire Sierra Squad and I fire and it obliterates whatever I'm aiming at and my headset shakes and my controller haptics go crazy and the adaptive trigger had like some resistance to it, like I'm like way more impressed by that.
Skipping around tips here. Super cool video, bro. The $2 tip says available ones have magnetic detachment. Indeed, I bet you tipped that before we even talked about it. But thank you. It's always good when you guys keep us on track. Marcelo Malajeros with the 5 rupees said, "Is there a game genre you guys think doesn't translate well to VR? Also, what kind of improvements or innovations do you expect from VR developers by now?"
Puzzle games.
Oh my God, stop it. You love puzzle games and you know it, especially in VR.
Puzzle games translate horribly to VR.
Yeah.
Because then you're just sitting there in VR doing a puzzle.
No, see, puzzles in VR are fun. I like puzzling places. I like static. There's also, the Room VR, Red Matter. The Red Matter is essentially a puzzle game.
Okay, those are environmental escape rooms.
But they're puzzle adventure games more than anything, right? So
yeah.
But this is, as far as I'm concerned, like I think shutting out the rest of the world and being immersed in the environment while you're figuring out a puzzle is one of the best ways to play a puzzle game for me, because I'm so easily distracted that I need to shut out the rest of the world and I need to be, this is all I'm doing right now. What doesn't work for me is reading in VR, like constantly. like I love visual novels. The Danganronpa series is they're some of my favorites. I played 1 and 2 on Vita. Started 3, haven't finished it yet. Don't want to lie to you guys. And that's all reading. That's all just sitting there and reading and like wandering around this building. But it's like reading dialogue, click, 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 just flipping through dialogue for hours at a time. They've tried to do this in VR and it just doesn't work. Because who wants to wear a headset for 8 hours and just read the whole time? No, thank you. So that's the genre that doesn't work for me, unfortunately. What kind of improvements or innovations do you expect from VR developers by now?
Eye tracking, foveated rendering.
Yeah, all the normal stuff, right?
I mean, these were not normal things at launch.
Right.
But yeah, and that's why we're seeing a lot of games getting delayed because they're starting to realize, these need to really take advantage of, like this will not only improve the game, like it'll improve the game. And these features are here. Like Sony have devised a wonderful headset that if you don't take a full advantage of it, then it just doesn't, I don't know. It's just, it lessens the experience. It lessens the immersion. They really need to take advantage. I think eye tracking is way more important for like visual clarity and stuff. The eye tracking, foveated rendering. I do like to see it as an input as well, whether it be for like multiplayer and seeing the eyes move around, or for like, let's say, Journey to Foundation, where you're looking at the different dialogue things. Like those are nice. Those are nice things. I like using it in menus and stuff. But then you've seen how it's been misused, like with Firewall, where it's like you're actually taking away from the immersion, trying to force this feature in here. It's like the weapon selecting, the throwing the grenades. It's like, no, that's not it.
Right.
They need to be used. You need to use all the features that the PSVR2 and PS5 have, the features that really make it unique, but then also like use it properly.
Yeah. I love this comment in the chat. Paul Cunningham said, I had to pause, so I'm a little behind, but quick comment on Gran Turismo 7 that they seem to be leaving behind is, yes, it's awesome. Yes, it looks great. But yes, they both ignored it for 4 months. This is how running a YouTube channel works, Paul, unfortunately. Some of my favorite games on the platform, I haven't had time to play. You've got to, when there's a constant influx of new games and launch games that I still haven't reviewed, I don't have that luxury. Yeah, I don't have a point at any point.
You think I'd rather be playing Ghostbusters? Nope. And you think I'd rather be playing, what the fuck else have we played?
Foglands.
The Foglands. You think we'd rather be playing that shit?
No,
really,
homie? I would, if it was up to me, and if you guys weren't constantly saying, "Where's this review? Where's that review? Where's this review? Where's that review?" Then yeah, maybe I'd fucking chill a little bit and say, "Let me have some Gran Turismo time every day." Unfortunately, that's just not how things work. That's not how no one will ever understand, AJ, how long it takes to make a 6.5 minute review. No one will ever fucking understand. And if they did, they wouldn't ask questions like this. But that's not your burden. Like it shouldn't. I'm glad you guys are just here for the entertainment. But there are people here that actually care about us and what it takes to do this kind of stuff. And those are the people who understand. That's like, man, Brian's burning the candle at both ends. Like, ask him why he hasn't played Gran Turismo. We know why he hasn't played Gran Turismo. So it's not for you to figure out how long it takes to make a 5-minute video.
Yeah, I've at least gotten to the point where like I can actually skip some games now. Like I used to beat everything that came out on PSVR. I'm done with that. Like I just, there's not enough time. The library is huge, and some of these games are really long. I've gotten to the point where it's like, I'm lucky if I get to play what I like to play. That's what we really have the least amount of time for. But yeah, I don't know. But at least I focus on what I want. I try to at least play what I want to play and focus on that.
Yep, and that's a great balance to strike. I'm definitely envious of that. But you know, I'm busy fucking making my Peaky Blinders review, as everyone in the chat is pointing out. They're like, "Oh God, he's playing Peaky Blinders." That's right.
That sucks.
Yep. But
I'm
anyway,
gonna be going back to playing Gran Turismo for
luckily,
science, for
listen,
updates.
listen, I'm not. I don't have a release calendar near me. I don't know what the new release dates for all those perp delays are. If you've seen, by the way, if you have seen any release dates for Vertigo 2, they're inaccurate. There is no official release date, even internally at perp. I talked to them this weekend. Nothing. So I don't get your hopes up for any one day in particular. When they know when the game will definitely 100%, no questions asked, be done by, then they'll tell you, or tell all of us. I don't even know right now because they don't know. Vertigo 2 and Madison are two games that are not going to come out until they're fucking ready to come out. But besides that, there's so many games on the way. There's so many good games on the way, and don't feel bad for me. I'm so fucking excited to play all of these upcoming games. For a while we had no idea what was coming in 2024, and 2024 is starting to become peppered with releases. It's becoming populated very quickly with great shit. And so, dude, I can't wait, and I hope you guys are excited too, because nothing but good stuff on the way.
I'm very excited, man. I'm excited for several things.
I think we got one more tip from Nope, that was it. See, we already read the super cool video, bro. And that means it's time, AJ, to do some 20 questions. You ready for this?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
All right. Well, you guys, this is the time of the show when I pick out a PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game. And you guys out there and AJ up here has 6 minutes and only 20 yes or no questions to figure out what game it is. So make sure you ask good questions in the chat, help AJ out, and then based on my answers, give him good suggestions.
Let's do this, Looper.
If Looper doesn't get it, like no one gets it, I think is the answer.
No, everybody's very helpful most of the time.
That's true. All right, here we go. Ready? Yes?
Yes.
On your mark, get Des. Go.
Is this game on PSVR 2?
Absolutely fucking not. Would I make it that easy
God
on you, AJ?
Damn it, man.
Monday's the most challenging day of the week.
Gosh, what are you going to just take it easy on me?
Doesn't sound like any fun.
Let's see here. Is it a rhythm game?
No, it's not.
Is it a puzzle game?
No, but there is puzzles in it. Not a focus of the game.
Is it a fantasy game?
Yeah. I call it a fantasy game.
You're lying so hard right now. You're trying to hide something. Is this by Vitruvius?
Yes. What the fuck? What just happened? What just happened?
I know your brain. I know how your brain
What
works.
just happened?
Remember? You're super predictable.
I'm very predictable.
Okay. Is this game, hold on though. Is this game not Marbles?
No one's ever asked that as a question. This game is not Marbles.
Is it Shadow Legend, Brian?
Holy shit, dude. That is one of the best rounds we've ever had. Where is the fucking trailer? Yes, by Vitruvius, coming out in 2020 for PSVR. Jesus Christ, I didn't even have the trailer ready to go because I didn't think you were going to get it that fast. Shadow Legend VR. Dude, what a beautiful looking game this was. Like, I remember being absolutely stunned when this came out on PSVR and we're like, oh. And it had VRAF elements. We're just like absolutely shocked. Yes, congratulations, AJ. Very impressive.
Thank you.
I'm definitely waiting to see what Looper has to say. If this been, I was, because when I was picking, I was like, I feel like this has been chosen 700 times before, but I don't know why I was going to sneak one past you.
Nicely done, Cats.
Virtual Stranger said he had it in 3. All right, you guys.
Who else had it in 3? Virtual Strangers.
Or so says the legend. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Oh, sirens on my end, just to celebrate. We appreciate everybody who helps the channel run. Ride Pop, who gets us up on podcast services of your choice. Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry, that puts all the timestamps into this. All the mods that make my life easier, not just over here on YouTube, but definitely over on Discord. It's like a full-time job. They don't get appreciated at all for all that hard work, but we love you so very much. Don't forget all the people that help this channel financially. You guys make a world of difference to me, whether it be here on YouTube by being a member, patreon.com/withoutparolegames, whether it be the GoFundMe that we just started to help everyone on the panel get to the Gamecat meetup in 2024. Just search for GoFundMe and Gamecat, and I guarantee you it'll fucking come up. Everyone who tips during the show, everyone who hangs out, shoots the shit, and everyone who sits back and watches the show doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. AJ, it's Monday.
Cue the motherfucking cat, Brian, because I want to say happy Turkey Month, y'all. Come. Chrome Colossus with the prayer hands, thumbs up, and fire. Twitcher, the Deuce Juice Gamecat says plant a flower.
What?
Blue Jew, the Underground Gamecat Elite Name Squad in the house. This fun show, guys. Thank you so much, Blue Jew. Bob Zarkov, the Underground Gamecat, another Elite Name Squad. We get the Elite Name Squad out in the house tonight, baby. Let's go. Scott, the PSVR Gamecat for life. Says cue that effing cat, Brian, because it's almost West Day here in the UK.
Whoa, Jesus Christ. How far ahead are you guys?
Man, that time, that fallback, I love fallback time, man. I love fallback.
John Savino in the chat says, who tipped you the most? I did. I love the humbleness of it all.
Stay humble, brother. Secrets of. See you later, man. Silver Nexus. Thank you so much, as always, homie. Dan Kiefer says, seriously, what was the time of that match?
When? I don't fucking know.
The thing. I don't know. Awesome Tatum. When are we gonna play some more? Well, I was going to say when we're going to play some more Crossfire, but he said, let's go drive in the snow right now. And I agree. Guy said fist bump to you. Mark Smith, thank you. He says, I'll watch this later. You guys always make my days suck. Much less. Thank you so much, Mark Smith. You as well. Brax Bro says, as always, in case I don't see you later, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Markio, the Sleepless Night Underground Game Cat, how's the, he says, come play Zenith with the Sleepless Nights Wednesday. No, you traitor. And we won't be, quit trying to pick from our guild.
Oh, dude, this is great. Looper reminds us, the absolute record of questions and time is when Dave gave up the fact that the game didn't have move support, but it's really weird that it didn't. So we all immediately were like, oh, it's Robinson.
Nice. That is awesome, man. Shout out to Dave. Love you, homie.
Hell yeah.
Miss you. Random Toxie, the horror VR game Smilodon, Brian. McManus 007 says, get back to GT7. Guys, thank you so much. You have a wonderful night. Hey Brian, I got a question for you.
Oh, ask away. Yeah, talk to me.
What happened 2 years ago? You thought I was gonna forget. What happened 2 years ago on this day in PSVR GamesCast history? All right. Let's have it.
I always forget this is gonna happen, so I've got to look it up right now and see.
My brain will not allow me to forget this anymore because I'm just like, oh yeah, my favorite part.
All right, you said 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's check this out then. We're gonna get as close as we possibly can. November 8th, 2021. Ghostbusters Afterlife VR. Dude, the title of the video is Ghostbusters, Afterlife VR. And then going weightless and solving puzzles and gravitational. So not only did we get a shitty game that month, but this was the Dreams release, right?
Yes, and it was awesome. I actually really liked it's the best 1 minute game I've ever played.
That we played it like 10 times because there was reasons to. Oh my god, dude, that's so crazy that it was 2 years ago that we got the Dreams Ghostbusters game, the official Dreams Ghostbusters game.
And it worked with the aim. It accidentally worked with the aim controller because the Dreams had aim support and it would you could use it with, you could swap the dual shock with it, and it was freaking awesome.
It also tells us how much we were hurting that we were so excited for a fucking 1 minute Dreams game. We're hurting big time
Yeah.
on PSVR1 at this point.
It was a lot of fun.
Yep. John Savino in the chat says, I did. I tipped the most. All right. I fucking love you guys. It's time to go. Good night, everyone.
Wow.